Let's show you what happened to Chuck Bound. He was racing along there with, I think, Rick Wilson.
The back just come out on the car. Nobody hit him. Look how close the 2-car come to being involved there.
Chuck kept it right down to the bottom. Had a good run going. He was only 2 laps behind the leader. He is now 3 laps down unofficially. 5th place. These 2 cars finished just like this at Rockingham. 2nd, 3rd. Right here, they're running for 4th and 5th.
Now, if Rusty Wallace could see this move right here, he'd be telling Bill Elliott going around.
Yeah, that's 5 points.
He likes to see some people get some distance. You know, whenever you have a problem on a racetrack, you just don't throw your hands up. You see that 2-car bunch just work. Just a few laps ago, a couple of cars wrecked. That was a couple of more positions for the 2. And now Bill Elliott gets around the same. I'm telling you, this point thing is going to go right down to the wire in Atlanta.
If Earnhardt finishes here, he's ahead of Rusty by 129. If Bill passes him, Earnhardt's only ahead by 124.
Well, that doesn't sound like everybody says, oh, 120, but hey, you can turn the other way in a hurry.
Those 5 points were the difference last year between Alan Kulwicki and Bill Elliott for the championship. That's all it takes.
Okay, Bill's right up under him there.
And Elliott goes on.
Earnhardt knows how important this is. He's going to fight him for every bit of real estate he can.
Right here's where Bill's car has worked good off of this corner. Well, held him off right there.
So Earnhardt holds on to 4th place.
Bill ran him down from a good way back. I thought he had to count on him there one time. Earnhardt came back around.
That's 4th and 5th. 6th is Ricky Rudd. 7th, Darrell Waltrip. And Bobby Labonte has moved up to 8th. He's gone past Rick Mast. There's Labonte's number 22. Just ahead of Mike Waltrip, the 9th place car. Mast got way up into the marbles in turns 1 and 2 and dropped back 2 spots. There he is. Now, Lake Speed is not on the lead lap in the Bud Moore Motorcraft 4. He is 1 lap down, 2 laps down, 1 lap down in 13th position.
See Michael Waltrip going down in the corner here. He's run well all day long, he and Darrell both, and they just hadn't got up front.
Watching Rick Wilson, who has 1 more race for Richard Petty, and then Wally Dallenbach takes over that car for 1994. We asked Richard how he came to choose Dallenbach as his driver for next season.
Well, I looked at it from the standpoint that, you know, Wally's had a couple of years of being a rookie, and hopefully he's been to all the racetracks. He knows what he's doing. 30-year-old kid, as far as I'm concerned, that's where the racers start really doing their best. So, you know, before he gets into a trap of running a lot of cars that's not that good and not having a chance to win, then I felt like by being a graduated rookie, that he'd be really good for us, because we've got to build the team back up, and between him and the young crowd that I've got working on the car, I think they can do that.
TNN Motorsports exclusive coverage of the Slick 5500 is brought to you by Keystone, Keystone Light, and Keystone Dry. You're riding with Mark Martin. That's the roof cam. Kenny Schrader, his car damaged in an early accident with Dale Earnhardt. You see how close they come to that wall at turn 2.
Yeah, that's that little wall that juts out across the back straightaway where you come across and enter the racetrack. I'm telling you, it looks like it's 40 foot high when you make a run at it.
Well, let's stay with this to turn 2 again as you go into the Goodyear Bridge. Here's the front straightaway, and you'll see the groove is right out by the end of that wall at turn number 2.
Pretty narrow in this area, too. You can see if anything happened there, you wouldn't have anywhere to go.
Now, right here, he's going to get in the gas, and watch how this wall jumps out. Right there. And there's the other wall 50 foot over behind it. That's just the entry to the racetrack.
Sitting here watching that is as close as I want to get to it.
Oh, yeah, I've tapped that thing a time or two.
30 laps to go.
Mark has had this view a lot. He's presented us with a lot of it looking at the front windshield of his car this year.
We're going to have to put that roof cam on the back of his car. Here's your Napa Field standing update brought to you by Napa. We keep America running. Had a couple of questions about Mark Martin's car, about that tangle of blue wires in the lower left corner of that shot, Neil, near the gear shift.
He's got a lot of wires. A lot of that's the radio system that goes in the car, and they just got excess wire, and they just put it on it and put those little tie straps around to hold it. The cord wrapped around the steering wheel, like a telephone cord, is the wire with his left thumb. That's the button you see right by his left thumb. He keys that to talk to the pits.
Now, look at that steering wheel. On the right spoke, that's what he keys to talk to the pits, and the left spoke is the one he talks to us.
Well, darn, he's going to talk to us in a minute. He's about to hit it.
And the radio's on that is on that roll bar there.
That's the reason he's got so much radio stuff.
Look how still his hands are in the corner, though. Pretty nice and smooth through there. He's one of the few drivers I've ever seen that takes their hand off the steering wheel and puts it over on top of his left hand in the corner, though.
Like that.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, that might be a new technique to teach, because we've seen plenty of it out front.
Back to the Buck Baker School. Remedial racing.
They used to tell me to do it at 12 o'clock and 3 o'clock. I couldn't tell if I was on Eastern time. I was one notch off all the time.
If the clock stops, where do you go, right? This is 6th place. Ricky Rudd and Darrell Waltrip.
AM and PM, the day and the night.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, groan. That was better than most of the jokes in the Grand
Oh,
Prix.
boy, we've had some, haven't we?
Yep. 6th place behind Mark Martin, Ernie Irvan, Kyle Petty, Dale Earnhardt, and Bill Elliott are these two cars. There's Earnhardt and Elliott. Lead change, turn 1. Maybe. Maybe not.
Well, we was watching Mark's hands. The 28 car was closing in on him.
Mark got real high up in turn number 4, had to get way out of the throttle, and Ernie just closed the gap, and he was there.
You know, we saw Mark's car. Ooh, look here.
Ooh, a little tight racing here.
Here's Mark. This is taking a look over his shoulder, what he's got to deal with right here.
Didn't give an inch. I tell you, this guy is really determined anymore.
Gutsy little race car driver with a lot of talent.
I don't think I've ever seen the combination of drive, intensity, guts, and hyperactivity in Mark Martin all combined in any other race driver.
Mark's a small guy. He worked on his body. He built it up to a bodybuilding type body. Everything he's done has made him a winner.
And see right here, Mark's gauge on where he goes is lay that left fender up against that black car on the left. All he can do is get just as tight as he can, because that 28 car is dictating how much room he has left. When he comes off his corner, he'll cut that left side right on him again. Oh, and it's coming off the corner right there.
Ernie lost it and caught it. Let's check with Glenn.
Well, Mark Martin's doing a great job hanging on. Crew Chief Steve Mill told me that he does have a broken valve spring. That's the reason for the abrupt slowdown on Mark's car. But I tell you what, he's doing a heck of a job hanging on to that lead. He is going to make Ernie Irvan really work hard to take it away from him.
I tell you what he did to Ernie Irvan. He made Ernie Irvan's car get loose. He made that car stay down there low. He would never give him that outside lane. If he had ever given up, let the 28 have that outside, he'd be checked out on him now. But he worked him so hard, he got his car loose.
Here it is again.
See Mark drive right back up on that outside. Watch him pull that left front fender right up against him there.
Look at that left front wheel there. He's cutting back into that slide. I'm going to tell you, everybody can't catch a car that well. He did a beautiful piece of driving there to get that car back under control. Ernie Irvan did.
Folks, you think this is easy? These guys are sliding these cars closer together than you park your street car. Glenn?
Well, Mike, I asked Steve Mill about how much horsepower that would cost him. He said it's hard to say here because the track's so slick. He said it really doesn't bother him that bad to lose that power. It may have been power they couldn't use anyway. So they're really not too concerned about it right now. They think Mark can hold him off.
Well, I just about go along with that, because what I'm seeing right now, because I'll tell you the only thing I see could possibly happen, that 28 really got his tires hot doing that. He might cool him down, buddy, and make another run at him in a minute.
Good point, Neil. That's what he's doing. He's sitting there right now cooling the tires, and Mark's checking out on him. He better not cool too long.
But there's only 20 laps to go.
I tell you what, though, once you slip those rear wheels like that, you go down to the next corner, and it feels like they're on ice.
Steve Meal, closest to the camera. Jack Roush, the car owner. Steve will leave that team at the end of the season, go over to Hendrick Motorsports, where he will oversee all of Rick Hendrick's Winston Cup race teams.
I tell you what, Mark Martin just called back. He said, I want to know how many laps to go each lap. You count it down for me. So he knows he's got his hand full. He wants to know how hard he's got to run, how many laps are left, so he can judge what he does in that race car. He wants him to tell him lap 20 to go, 19 to go, 18 to go.
Yep.
So they're going to count him down where he can work. I'll tell you, the same thing's happened to that 28. He probably tells me, let me know when there's 10 to go, and I'll burn these tires off this thing.
You can see the Ford can overtake Chevrolet today in the manufacturer's points for the Ford victory. It would be a 1-point difference, we're told, going to Atlanta. Ford's right now running first and second. Pontiac is third. That's Kyle Petty. Chevrolet is fourth. That's Earnhardt. Bill Elliott is fifth. We're counting them down here at Phoenix, and we'll be right back as live coverage of Winston Cup Racing on TNN continues.